That way you're in compliance with our spay-neuter rules. But, and something else if I could, I know there are other shelters here locally in the river region that spay young kittens at 8 weeks. We don't do that. We've done our research and we've spoken with veterinarians, and we find that's a little too young. They're still babies and they're still developing, and we've seen that sometimes if they're spayed or neutered that young, they can get really sick and they can have bladder issues sometimes. So we usually do spaying about 3 to 4 months old, or the general rule is 3 months or 3 pounds, whichever comes first. And so we generally, if you want to adopt a 10-week-old kitten that we have for adoption, or a 10-week-old puppy that we have for adoption, that is okay. It's not going to be spayed or neutered more than likely, but that's where the responsibility of the new family comes in. But we do contribute to that cost. Yes?
You said you have volunteers that walk dogs and stuff?
Yes.
Is it at the shelter?
It is.
Or do they walk them in the park or what?
Well, it would be nice if we had a let's go to the park program kind of thing, but we have to be so careful with liability,
Right.
and just with, with the dogs, because they are the property of the shelter.
Right.
And Montgomery does that. Montgomery has so many resources that Prattville doesn't have. And they do, but you can also walk them out to the play yard, and if you need help with that, you can throw a ball around. They love it. They love it. And our staff is so helpful in making sure that you're paired with the right dog for you that day. And that way it's not too big or too jumpy or,
Too strong.
bowl you over. That happens. So, any other questions? Yes, just remember to spay and neuter. I know that that's kind of our mantra, but it's interesting that we have a lot of people who breed their dogs thinking that they will sell. It's a pit Doberman mix or what have you, and everybody will want them, and it turns out that they don't. So we'll have litters of 10 come in. And and most of the time, I will be honest, they are very sick because they haven't had the money themselves to worm them, to give them adequate vaccinations. They didn't sell, so we're the last resort. And so I just want to encourage, puppies are cute and kittens are cute, but they grow up. And that's the thing I think sometimes people forget. Huh?
I said, just like children.
Just like kids, that's right.
You got to pay for them, take them to the doctor.
They do, and we have a lot of, I could talk about this all night. The thing is, we have a lot of people that say, well, could you waive my adoption fee? And our adoption fee, by the way, is $120, and that's for a dog. That includes the spay-neuter. It has a microchip, up to date on all of its vaccinations, and you get a complimentary vet exam. A lot of people are like, well, that's too much. That is too much. Can you give me a discount? And we just say, no, this is the cheapest we can do for you for our cost. And if you can't afford the adoption fee, then more than likely you won't be able to afford the maintenance of your dog or cat. Our cats are $50.
What is that fee? What is the fee of your dog or cat?
Dogs are $120 and our cats are $50. Yes. So we're pretty reasonable, given what all you get with that. And yes, ma'am.
I don't think, though, that people realize how much it really does cost, because it was over $600 when we took home that 2-week-old puppy, and by the time we got him spayed, neutered, and his shots and what have you, it was like $620, I think.
It is.
It's not, you say that you get a certificate, it didn't. I don't
Well,
know what it would have been without the certificate, or how much
well,
that
and
really helped.
that's kind of hard because we so struggle and we wish that our local vets, and we have a lot of vets in Prattville, y'all know that,
We
right?
went to one of them.
A lot of vets. And it's expensive to get your animal spayed and neutered. I mean, it just, when we had someone that was like, well, I'll just take him and get him spayed and neutered, and it's like, well, you might, because they wanted to adopt, but the animal was scheduled to go that weekend. I'm like, well, you're going to save $500 if you just wait the weekend, let her go to AAA and come back and get her Wednesday. Oh, okay, that makes sense, you know. But we wish they would work with us. We wish that they would allow us to have a more discounted rate for our shelter pets, but it just doesn't happen. And so that's why we're so fortunate to have Alabama Animal Alliance. And y'all, they do amazing work. The low-cost animal clinic, a spay clinic, does amazing work. And we're so fortunate. They'll do a cat neuter for $50.
Well, we took a dog to Montgomery.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was $50. It was
It's-
several years ago.
yes,
It
ma'am.
was another dog.
Probably the same probably the same organization.
But I didn't think, I thought with the vet certificate that we got,
Yeah,
that we wouldn't get charged so horrible much.
it really is kind of a kind of a bolt out of the blue for a lot of folks.
Well, I would have gone to Montgomery.
Yeah, well, and something else too is it's hard too because spaying and neutering is expensive, and it's like, well, and especially in rural areas, because y'all know that Autauga County is a poor county. I mean, it struggles, and it's, well, do I pay my phone bill, or do I pay my house payment, or do I get my dog spayed this month, you know? And that can often be a struggle, which is why we are totally for advocating the low-cost spay and neuter clinic in Montgomery. So, well, if there are no more questions, thank you for having me tonight. I appreciate it.
May I hand your copy to give to our secretary?
Oh, of course.
Because she's not here tonight.
Sure.
She would appreciate
There you
that.
are.
So at our,
Yes.
and we thank Jenny so much. I want to say, I got my kitty from there. Her name is Samantha. I think the only person here that's really acquainted with Samantha is Sandra. She knows what a spoiled kitty she is, and she is my comfort kitty, truly my comfort kitty. And she's almost 12 years old now.
Oh, that's sweet.
And my daughter also got her kitties out there, so.
Yes, we
we're
are
big
constantly.
supporters of the
That's
humans.
wonderful, and I mean, adoption, and October is Adopt a Shelter Pet Month, so, and you can come see me at PetSmart, usually on Saturdays. I'm usually out there wrangling dogs, volunteers.
But thank you so
So,
much, Jenny.
thank you.
And please feel free to go back and pick up the plates and browse on what leave.
Okay, thank you.
Go out. Thank you so much. Oh, I forgot to mention that my Samantha kitty does not have a sign of a tail. She must be mostly nice. She does not even have a sign of a tail.
Well, I am the grandmother of a kitty. My son, as most of y'all know, is in Korea, and I'm babysitting his kitty for his whole tour while he's in Korea. And she weighs 14 pounds. She is a big, big kitty. And I spent the afternoon with her at the vet, which is why I have kitty hair all over me. So, anyway, so grandmamas are good for kids. Okay, we want to recognize the birthdays. Let's see, Eugene Covington and Liz Chambers have birthdays this month. Anybody else have a birthday? Okay. Any, how about any anniversaries this month? No anniversaries?
Sorry bunch.
Liz Chambers, Charlotte can maybe help fill in on this, but Liz Chambers has not been well. She belongs to our Sunday school class, and she is back now, but she's been quite ill for a while.
I talked to her.
Oh, you did, okay.
Yeah, she has not been doing really well. And I did talk to Ed Ford today, and he said that, let's see, first of all, he said that the food was institutionalized, and that today they had cabbage that they didn't cook all the way, and they had meatloaf that was not prepared properly, and the potatoes were not good, and that most of the plates, when he left the table, most everybody's plates looked like his, the food was still on it. And he said yesterday he had to stand in the hall for an hour because somebody pulled the fire alarm. So they had to wait for all the fire people, and he said it was some old person. He said, you know, the people here are really old. So, but if on your program back there, and I think it'll be in the minutes for this next time, I talked to Gene this afternoon, but his phone number is on there. Now, this is the number that rings in his room, and he would love for you to call and talk to him. He can hear better on this number than he can on his cell phone. I think in our book, we have his cell phone listed, but if you can call that 205 number, if you want to just speak to him, he hears better on that, but be prepared to hear about the food.
Okay.
Because I've talked to him multiple times, and that's what all he talks about. Okay, it is, the area code's 205. The number is 519-5307.
Do you have an address? Because I'd rather send
Send him a card. There is an address, and I gave it to Jean this afternoon so she could put in the minutes.
Okay, good.
But it's at the Oaks on Parkwood. That's the name of it, the Oaks on Parkwood. And it's in Bessemer. Okay, and there's only one, the Oaks in Parkwood.
He
On
sent,
Parkwood.
he sent out an email when he moved, and, to I thought everybody probably got it, I got it, the address and telephone number, what have you.
Well, I gave it to her this afternoon, so when you get your copy of the minutes, it should be in there. Okay? And if it's not, I'll give it to you, because I have it written down, and that shouldn't bring
Have
any
any
minutes.
The
But
last minutes that she sent me are the August minutes, because there weren't any September minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, she was working on some of them this afternoon. Y'all know she's moving today, right?
I got mine today.
Yeah.
Okay, she's moving.
Where's
But
she moving?
Well,
Downstairs.
downstairs.
Oh, just moving
She
in the
has
house.
her son got married, and they're gonna live upstairs, and then she's gonna live in the apartment downstairs where the son's been living. But they were coming today to move her furniture and stuff like that, so she didn't know if she'd get here in time.
Kept her Jenny's taught her information so she could have it to make up her minutes
Oh,
if
that'd
she
be
needs
good.
it.
She will, and that'd be good. So I guess we don't have any minutes to read. You got some? Okay. All
Want
right.
me to read them?
You can, did everybody get them in your email or anything? You don't have email? Okay.
Okay, these are August 14th. The meeting was called to order at 6 p.m. by President Faye Mansell. She announced that earlier she had received a phone call from member Ed Ford. He has moved to the Bessemer area, Alabama area. His new address is the Oaks on Parkwood, 3651 Laurel Drive, Bessemer, 35022. He has 2 telephone numbers. The number to his room is 205-519-5307. His cell number is 334-312-4821. He would like to hear from the members. If you do call, use the 205 number. He said he can hear better on that one. Jim Burgess gave the invocation. Faye led the pledge to the flag. Vice President Helene Tampson introduced the speakers for the night, Pat Cummins and Carol Ratcliffe. These 2 ladies have just recently returned from a trip to Russia. They presented a program on a journey along the Volga River, Russia. It was very interesting and informative. Their use of PowerPoint and printed photos provided us with a virtual tour. We visited historical and scenic venues, went through the locks on the river, and took a peek at life in both the rural and urban settings. Faye recognized those who were celebrating birthday and anniversaries this month. Birthdays were Fran Gruby, the 4th, Laura Pate, the 17th, and Benny Bell, the 22nd. Celebrating anniversaries were Charles and Sandra Weesey, 14 years on the 18th, and John and Joyce Van Valkenburg, 66 years on the 28th. Minutes for July were sent by email. A motion was passed to accept the minutes as printed. There was not a report from the treasurer, who was visiting out of state. They reminded everyone that the meeting in September is the quarterly potluck supper. Jean Hare and Joyce Bowling will be responsible for opening the center and setting up the supper. Meeting adjourned for refreshments. Respectfully submitted by Jean Hare, Secretary.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept the minutes? Okay. Can somebody write this down, who accepted them and who's second?
Second.
Okay.
She's right.
It's my birthday, so it's not forward.
We have a correction.
The 7?
You have a
Yes,
birthday?
in August. They said the
Correction on that.
You just turned it with 2 birthdays.
Okay. All in favor of the minutes with the correction, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Accept the minutes. Did you by chance have a treasurer's report?
No, I don't.
Okay, now, Harold's out of town again. I'll tell you what, that boy's lucky. He gets to travel everywhere. He's in Gatlinburg, I think, now, this time, so, we'll let him, do double duty next month. Now, speaking of next month, believe it or not, is November. So, I would, in December, we always have our dinner catered. And if I would like to have a volunteer who would, get 2 or 3 folks on there to help her committee to decide who we're going to use as the caterer. Does anybody want to volunteer for that?
See, the whole group does.
You spoke out, so I'm guessing that means you volunteered, right?
I will.
Well, okay. Yay, we have a volunteer. Thank you very much.
You are.
Okay, good. Okay, and if you will just pick 2 or 3 people and just call around and, there you go. Call them and then next month you can maybe present it to us and let us know what you've decided and how much it'll be and that sort of thing. Because in December, I mean, we can pay next month for our dues. And I think Harold will have to tell us that. I think it's still $12 if I'm not mistaken. But we'll have to get those details from him and then pay for our dinner for December. Okay? And y'all might talk about if we're gonna do decorations or, for that whole, okay. All right.
Do it anyway.
Yeah, see? Thank you. Okay. Now, normally, if I'm not mistaken, when the Humane Society, when they've been here before, we've decided to, we've given a donation, if I'm not mistaken. So, we might want to wait until next month when Harold is here with, and can tell us how much we have in the treasury and stuff like that, and us decide on an amount. So if y'all wanna just be thinking about it, go ahead.
I would like to suggest, I think we have quite a bit of money in our treasury.
Okay.
And apparently from what Ed said, that we do give some of that away, but it's towards the end of the year. And I think somewhere we need to get a group together or everybody, or to make a suggestion and then bring it before the group to vote on it. And I think, even if we don't do it until January, what I would like to suggest is what we did years ago, we would have the people, someone come from the organization that we made the donation to, have them come here to personally to pick up the money, and then we would get a photographer. We've got a built-in one now.
Yeah.
But somebody, so we can get it in the paper and get the fact that AARP is active and contributing to our community, because we're not getting out there now like we should. And so that would be my suggestion.
Right. And we can also have it put on our Facebook, can we not?
Yes,
Have that put on there?
yes.
But that really doesn't get out in the community.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hoping that we can get
Get the
get
paper.
a group, and maybe, just maybe with some like Marty Rooney might come and give a little write-up about it. He does a lot of write-ups, you know, in the paper. And he has for